It's Valentine's Day here at Trinity. How one student org is raising money and spreading the love on campus.
February also means the beginning of Black History Month, how you can celebrate right here on campus.
All this and more right now on Newswave. Welcome back to Newswave. Today is Valentine's Day, Friday, February 14th. I hope you all have had a great one so far, and thank you to everyone who came and visited us at Chocolate Fest. As always, I'm Michaela Mendoza.
And I'm Cynthia Morales. Up first, Newswave reporter Oralis Caballero has an inside look at how AKPSI partnered with Leroy to celebrate Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day at Trinity University is more than just a celebration of love. It's a tradition of community, kindness, and giving back. Each year, student organizations come together to sell and deliver carnations with personalized notes, fostering a sense of community while supporting their respective and meaningful causes. In the week leading up to Valentine's Day, the Student Code Center transforms into a hub of festive energy as various student groups set up tables to promote the Valentine's sale. Students stop by to purchase flowers for friends and loved ones, while parents can also pre-order flowers to surprise their students with a heartfelt gift from afar. One of the most notable participants in this initiative is the business fraternity Alpha Kappa Psi, whose Valentine's Day sales have seen an overwhelming response, raising more than $1,000 in recent semesters. Last year, the organization sold $969 worth of flowers, following a strong performance of $909 the year before. As more groups recognize the impact of these efforts, participation has grown, expanding the fundraiser's reach and influence within the Trinity community.
So I think the AKSI Valentine's Day sale is a really good for students. It allows them to express their gratitude to the other students, and I just think it's a beautiful thing that Leroy can give out flowers to students walking around campus.
To gain further insight into this campus-wide event, we spoke to the president of Alpha Kappa Psi about its significance.
Hello everyone, my name is Antonio Gonzalez. I'm a junior double majoring in business analytics and economics, and I'm the current president of Alpha Kappa Psi. This year, AKSI had an annual carnation sale, and it was really good. I really appreciate that we were able to bring the Trinity community and just bring a smile to campus by delivering the hand flowers. AKSI often holds professional events as well, so if you ever see us around campus, feel free to swing by and talk to a brother.
Beyond the excitement of the sale, the heart of Trinity's Valentine's Day celebration lies in the joy of giving. To make the day even more special, Trinity's beloved mascot, Leroy, takes to campus spreading love and distributing flowers to students and staff. His presence adds an extra layer of excitement and warmth, making the day even more special and inclusive for all. We spoke to several students about what this event means to them and who they appreciate most this Valentine's Day.
To me, Valentine's Day is a day to appreciate my friends both here and at home.
This Valentine's Day, I really do appreciate my girlfriend and my family.
With every flower exchanged and every note delivered, the Trinity community continues to strengthen the bonds that make the university feel like home. As this tradition grows, so does the spirit of generosity and unity, making Valentine's Day a highlight of the academic year.
This year, Trinity University Professor and Director of Sports Management Department minor, Jacob Tingle, celebrates nearly 25 years at Trinity University. Dr. Tingle played basketball here at Trinity, where he graduated in the class of 1995 with a Bachelor of Arts in Communication and Religion. He spent his time after graduation working with the National Intramural and Recreation Sports Association at the University of Maryland under a graduate assistantship before returning to Trinity. Later on, as an assistant athletic director, Tingle continued to grow, working on his doctorate while working his way up to where he was ultimately appointed as the interim department chair of the physical education program. He then designed and became director of the current sport management minor, reflecting on his 25-year milestone. He had this to say, quote, "Sports management as a field is truly interdisciplinary. Sports for me have always been a place where it's easier to find connection with someone that is different than you," end quote. We here as Newswave would like to congratulate Dr. Tingle on his long tenure of success and contributions to the sport management field here at Trinity.
Trinity's Black Student Union, or BSU, is hosting a variety of events to celebrate Black History Month. The festivities began today with a transcribing celebration in honor of Frederick Douglass's birthday and will continue next week with a BSU Spirit Week. The Spirit Week will lead into the 4th annual Black Essence Festival, where the theme will be Dirty South, as students are encouraged to wear country attire or early 2000s Southern hip-hop outfits. Like every other year, the festival will also have music and food, giving students an opportunity to take a break from school. As the president of BSU, Junior Aaliyah Jones says, quote, "This festival proves that it is a beautiful thing where everyone, no matter their race or color, can come together and celebrate love and community and joy." End quote. The festival will be held on Friday, February 21st from 3 to 6 p.m. at Coates Esplanade.
Trinity University lost a beloved professor this past year, as Diane Purcellin, director of the Handball Ensemble and professor of music education, passed away on December 15th from cancer. Dr. Purcellin is remembered for her kindness, passion, and positive attitude. During her time at Trinity, not only did she lead a successful handball ensemble program, but also co-founded the Arv Schulwerk Music Teacher Certification Program in 1998, through which countless students have taken part in. Chelsea Short, a 2011 Masters of Education alumni and San Antonio Elementary School music teacher, says, quote, "By creating those courses, Purcellin made San Antonio and Texas a place to be for elementary music ed. She's made sure that Trinity was always a focal point for those workshops and ideally will continue to be because of her legacy." End quote. A memorial service was held this past weekend, honoring the profound impact that she had on the community. Dr. Purcellin's dedication and teaching to passion for music has left a lasting impact on those who she taught with, worked with, and in the heart of those at Trinity University.
Coming up, measles is back in the United States. What Texas lawmakers are doing in response.
And how San Antonio high schoolers gather to protest the president's immigration crackdown.
Stick around, we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love. Love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our everyday.
Welcome back to Newswave. Despite being too young to vote, high school students in the San Antonio area are organizing to voice their frustration with the Trump administration's immigration policies. Last Friday, nearly 1,000 students at San Antonio High School participated in a walkout against policies they consider unjust. In less than a month since taking office, President Trump has signed over 50 executive orders and lifted restrictions on where federal agents can enforce immigration policies. The walkout was organized by 17-year-old South San Antonio student Juan Rodriguez, who says he plans to organize additional protests in the future. Other San Antonio area schools, including Brackenridge High School and McCollum High School, also held protests last week over the president's deportation policy.
The Texas Department of State Health Services has issued an alert about an outbreak of measles in Gaines County, with at least 10 reported cases in the last 2 weeks. This airborne disease, once eradicated in the U.S. in the year of 2000, has returned, threatening the health of pregnant women, infants, and compromised people. Measles exhibits flu-like symptoms such as high fever, cough, runny nose, and red or watery eyes. It typically spreads among low-vaccinated communities, with 4 cases being confirmed as unvaccinated individuals. This follows a decline of vaccination numbers in Texas, with school vaccination rates falling from 97% in the 2019 through 2020 school year to 94.3% in 2023 through 2024. Exemption requests have also grown from 45,900 requests in 2018 to 93,000 in 2024. These shifts are happening as Texas lawmakers are rolling back the state vaccination requirements. such as a proposed action amending the Texas Constitution to enforce the right to refuse vaccinations. In the alert, the Texas Department of State Health Services encouraged residents to get the measles vaccine, stating that, quote, the best way to prevent getting sick, end quote.
After a wild weather week, Newswave Chief Meteorologist Luke Morton has what you can expect for the weekend.
Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Friday and happy Valentine's Day. I hope you all had a good time at Chocolate Fest if you went, and now it is time for your weekly weather update. This past week has been quite the roller coaster of temperatures, with highs ranging from the 80s to the low 50s. That roller coaster ride looks to continue, with this Saturday warming up into the upper 70s under mostly sunny skies. A wonderful day for a walk in the park or even a picnic. Sunday, however, will be much cooler again with highs in the upper 50s. It'll get quite chilly at night too, so be sure to wear a jacket for your second half of your weekend. Next week, we'll see a gradual warm-up, with Monday reaching the 60s and Tuesday reaching the 70s. Then another front blows in, which will knock highs back down into the 50s. Skies should be partly to mostly sunny for most of the week. We could see some rain chances creep in by the end of the week, but that is not entirely set in stone. I know how frustrating these temperature swings can be, but unfortunately this is what happens sometimes in Texas. And the good news is, if you don't like the weather one day, you only have to wait a day or two for it to completely change. Anyways, that's going to be it for me this week. I hope you all have a wonderful and safe Valentine's Day weekend, and I look forward to seeing you all next week.
Valentine's Day is coming up and there's lots to do here in San Antonio. Some fun free options include Single and Ready to Mingle on February 14th at the Blue Bonnet Palace, where you can attend a Valentine's Day party, or you can catch Singles Night at the Selma Dance Hall from 8 to 11:30 p.m. The Bexar County Courthouse is also offering free marriages on February 14th at 100 De La Rosa Street, with the block party happening before this at 12:01 a.m., which supposedly the first 50 couples receiving a rose from the last straw florist. If you're looking for a spookier option, there's the haunted hike being offered by the San Antonio River Authority and Curious Twins Paranormal Tour Guides from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Museum Reach side of the San Antonio River. This event is free but does require a small payment of $10 made to secure your spot. However, if you show up to the event, you will get the money back. For $8 tickets, you could try out Valentine's Lotteria Night, which is also being offered at Sammy's Snacks at the 7200 block of Blanco Road on February 13th at 6:30 p.m. and will offer games, snacks, free wine, and pizza, as well as a free Lotteria card if you invite a friend. On February 14th for $22, you can catch the movie Outdoor, which will be held at the San Antonio Botanical Gardens, where you can watch 50 First Dates and have concessions and beverages. If you register prior to the event, you can also receive extra perks, such as a picnic basket, reserved seat, and a bottle of wine. The San Antonio Museum of Art is also offering romance and ruin-themed tours on the 14th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. with wine provided and the opportunity to create a wooden Sacred Heart for $35 for non-members and $30 for members. At 2800 block of Broadway, the Museum is offering Adult Night from 7 to 9:30 on the 14th and will offer drinks, food, music, and access to interactive exhibits for $45 a person. The San Antonio Zoo is also offering all kinds of events for those 18 and older, with tickets starting at $79 and options on the 10th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. The Ranger Creek Brewing and Distilling will have dinner, drinks, live music, and a schnitzel plate on the 14th at 6 and 7:30 p.m. on the 4800 block of Whirlwind Drive, with tickets at $80 a person. Last but not least, Hotel Valencia is offering a 3-course Valentine's Day dinner on the 14th and 15th on East Houston Street with 2 different price options. We here at Newswave hope y'all have a fantastic Valentine's Day.
Up ahead, an update on the U.S.-Canada relations and a recap on the Super Bowl's most viral moments. This and more when we return.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
President Trump's recently instituted the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, has begun taking cuts at the Education Department. Elon Musk and team members have recently acquired administrator-level emails in order to access sensitive information on the department, causing unrest among longtime employees who fear information could quickly get leaked. As DOGE continues poring over the information, many employees of the Education Department also fear the mass layoffs may be coming as resignation packages are being offered. DOGE is also currently looking into diversity, equity, and inclusion practices in the department for further savings, and many worry that this could negatively impact important disability services and services for students learning English as a second language. Furthermore, DOGE appears to be looking to cut various grants that many schools across the country rely on for teachers and tutors. Perhaps most concerningly, though, all these disruptions come before Trump's nominee for the Education Department, Linda McComb, even undergoes her confirmation hearings. And if she is sworn in, only time will tell the department's fate.
Donald Trump's national security advisor, Mike Waltz, says the president has no plans to invade Canada. His statement comes after reports that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told business leaders the U.S. is considering making the 51st state. According to NBC News, Waltz dismissed concerns but noted that many Canadians are unhappy with Trudeau's leadership. He described the situation as part of a broader push for U.S. influence from the Arctic to the Panama Canal. Meanwhile, Trump confirmed in an interview with Fox News that annexing Canada is something he is considering, saying, quote, "Canada would be better off as a 51st state." Trump cited a $200 billion annual loss in trade as the reason for the potential move. Trump has also ordered budget cuts targeting the Department of Defense and Education. He has tapped Elon Musk to identify wasteful spending, saying, quote, "We're going to find billions of dollars of fraud and abuse." Additionally, Trump aims to end the war in Ukraine while securing economic benefits for the U.S. As Trump's second term unfolds, its policies are already reshaping America's global role.
Last week, President Trump announced that he plans to impose 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum imports and reciprocal tariffs on countries leveling duties on U.S. goods. This announcement comes after Trump's announcement last month of plans to impose 25% tariffs on all Canadian and Mexican goods, as well as a 10% tariff on Chinese imports. These tariffs, said Trump, will only affect certain countries, while not specifying which ones to be exact. More specifically, he had this to say about other countries, stating, quote, "Very simply, it's if they charge us, we charge them. If they are charging us 130%, we're charging them nothing. It's not going to stay that way," end quote. He also suggested earlier this month that the European Union could be next in line to face tariffs.
This past weekend, fans gathered for the most anticipated game of the year as the Kansas City Chiefs took on the Philadelphia Eagles for Super Bowl 59. But the game wasn't the only highly anticipated event of the night. This year's halftime entertainment included some of the biggest artists such as SZA and Kendrick Lamar, along with other performances by John Baptiste and Lady Gaga. After dominating the Grammys with 5 big wins, Kendrick's performance included his top hits, Squabble Up, Humble, DNA, Peekaboo, and even his controversial diss track amid at Drake, Not Like Us. SZA also joined him to perform their songs Luther and All the Stars. The entertainment didn't stop there. The Dunk Kings made their return this year after the first commercial advertisement of the Super Bowl, featuring Ben and Casey Affleck, Bill Belichick, and Jeremy Strong. Among the stars spotted were Taylor Swift and Serena Williams. Super Bowl 59 was a night filled with football, music, and unforgettable moments.
After the break, a word from Newswave sport editor Caleb Reed and an inside look on Trinity men's basketball new three-point record holder. Newswave will be right back after this short message.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to sports. We are going to start out first with Trinity Track and Field, who have once again started crashing through records left and right. After breaking 4 records last week, the team then broke 4 more records in the most recent competition down in Houston. Joy Ariola is the first field athlete this season to break an indoor record, setting a new indoor triple jump mark for the program. Remember last week how there was a new 800-meter indoor record? Yeah, that didn't last long at all, as Haley Hamilton re-broke the record earlier on this week. Additionally, Danya Selber broke the women's indoor 60-meter record, doing it twice in the same event, once in the prelims and then another time in the final. And finally, dual sport athlete for both volleyball and track, Annabelle Lanik set the new indoor 200-meter record, capping off a brilliant weekend for the women's program. Baseball will also begin their season with a home series to open conference, beginning their year with a 3-game set against Austin College. The SCAC starts early this year, and there will be plenty of action with a Saturday doubleheader between the Tigers and the Roos. Trinity made the playoffs last year and finished the year at a 32-15 record after falling in the conference championship, and the team will look to return to form with a lot of new faces, hoping that their home field will prove friendly again tonight at 7. Softball got their season started last week and will be on the road once again this weekend, following a clean split on opening weekend. The Tigers won their first 2 games at Laterno, winning 5-3 in Game 1 and then 10-4 in Game number 2. They weren't so lucky whenever they traveled to the number 1 team in the nation, East Texas Baptist University, whenever they fell in 2 games to the defending national champs. Trinity is now on the road, taking on their first conference opponent of the season in Sherman, Texas, against Austin College. Make sure to show up at the softball field next weekend, though, as the team will be playing host to Texas Lutheran in a rematch game that also will be their home opener. TOU will be a hard opponent to go up against, as last season, the Tigers spoiled their Senior Day festivities to end the year. Speaking of Senior Day, the Trinity women will be at home for the final times tonight and tomorrow, facing the Texas Lutheran Bulldogs tonight and then the Southwestern University Pirates in a rematch of last weekend's activities. Trinity lost their road game against the Bulldogs last weekend, but then came back with a strong win against the Pirates up in Georgetown. They will now get another shot at the 2 this weekend, taking on TLU tonight and then facing their Senior Day matchup on Saturday. Meanwhile, the Trinity men will face the same opponents this weekend after decimating both teams by a combined 73 points in 73 points in the 2 games. But for more on the team, we are going to turn it over to Newswave reporter Max Craig, who spoke with Trinity's all-time 3-point record holder, Jacob Harvey.
Today I got Jacob Harvey from Trinity men's baseball team. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Did you ever think you would be in your current position playing at the school?
So it was always a goal of mine to play college basketball coming out of high school and growing up. And it was funny because the first time I met Coach Smith and Coach Holmes was in a basketball tournament, and they came up to me and they're like, "Hey, we're from Trinity University." Introduced themselves and it just kind of introduced me to Trinity. And my initial thought was I'd never heard of Trinity before, and I was like, I don't know if I'd ever go there. And then I took a visit and met them and walked around with them on campus, and I was like, man, this is the place for me. And yeah, so to say I never really imagined myself being exactly here. Like, I couldn't have told you I would have been here 4 years later, but it's cool that things worked out, and definitely cool that I've been playing college basketball for 4 years because that was always a goal of mine.
When did you start playing basketball?
Man, I started, honestly, since I was there's pictures of me, a little kid with a little Tyson goal, those plastic ones. And I remember growing up playing basketball on the driveway with my dad and just doing shooting competitions. So, but I think the first recreational league I ever did, I was probably, I want to say 6 or 7. So from there, I loved it, and that was always my favorite sport. Was always basketball. So it's cool to still be playing it after all these years.
Recently, I saw that you got 2 awards. The 3.1 and the scoring record. Which one are you more happy about breaking?
Yeah, both really cool awards. It was awesome to achieve those. Just takes, just shows a lot of hard work being paid off. So, but scoring 1,000 points was awesome. It was really cool to check it off my goal list. But I'd say the 3-point record was definitely my favorite out of the 2, just because I pride myself on shooting a lot of threes. So it's cool to have my name in history for the 3-point record. And growing up, like I said earlier, me and my dad always do shooting competition in our driveway. So it's cool to have a shooting record. That's something I like to be like my staple. So
yeah, that is very, very true. Based off the games I've seen so far.
Yeah, I like to shoot just a couple of threes a game. So
yeah. Well, that's all the time I needed from you. Thanks for joining me, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Meanwhile, moving on to pro sports, the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl last weekend, taking down the Kansas City Chiefs in a 44-20 score that was really closer on paper than it was in reality. The Chiefs locked down running back Saquon Barkley for under 100 yards, but poor offense as well as uncharacteristic miscues made an impossible hole to climb out of. This is the second time in the last 10 years that Philly has won the Lombardi, denying Kansas City's three-peat. And finally, this weekend marks the start of the NASCAR season, as 40 drivers will take to the high banks of Daytona for the annual Daytona 500. With speeds at over 200 miles per hour, the risk will be just as high as the reward as drivers prepare for 200 laps at NASCAR's oldest circuit. William Byron won the last race in 2024, which was postponed a day due to poor weather. And this year, the green flag is scheduled to drop on Sunday at 1:30 in the afternoon here local time. So make sure to tune into the sport's biggest race of the year, as well as the season opener. That's it for me. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.
On February, Trump had an extensive phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin, which Trump described as highly productive. This marks the first confirmed conversation between the two presidents of Trump's second term. The president has made ending the Russian-Ukraine war a priority of his administration. About the content of the call, Donald Trump sided with some consensus with the Russian president, saying on social media, "As we both agreed, we want to stop the millions of deaths taking place in the war with Russia and Ukraine." Independent counts place the death toll of the war in the hundreds of thousands, not millions, but the call marks a significant milestone for Vladimir Putin, as it shows a significance in the Western efforts to diplomatically isolate him since he chose to invade Ukraine in 2022. Since Trump won the November election, the Russian president has been heaping praise onto Donald Trump, underlining the Kremlin's hope to redefine the relationship between the U.S. and Russia and turn the United States away from Ukraine. President Trump also had a conversation with Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky, which Trump lauded as highly successful, and said that President Zelensky, like President Putin, wants to make peace. Trump declined to elaborate on how Ukraine would factor into any peace negotiations, signs from Moscow, and points to Putin's desire for more than a simple ceasefire, but for broader consensus from Ukraine before allowing the fighting to end.
2 mass graves containing the bodies of nearly 50 migrants were found in the desert of southeastern Libya. The first grave was found last Friday on a farm outside of Kirfa, where 19 bodies were uncovered. The second grave was found on Sunday, also outside of Kirfa, during a raid of human trafficking center. This grave was larger, with at least 30 bodies discovered. According to ABC News, survivors of this tragedy claim that nearly 70 people were buried in the grave, as authorities continue to search the area. As of Sunday, authorities have been able to free 76 migrants from the trafficking center and have made 3 arrests, a Libyan and 2 foreigners. Incidents such as this happen frequently in Libya, as most migrants from Africa pass through the country with hopes of reaching Europe and a better life. Human traffickers have been able to take advantage of this and the dysfunction of the country in recent decades, leading to atrocities like this one.
Sadly, that's all the time we have for today. We hope to see you again next week when Newswave goes live at our standard airtime on Friday, February 21st at 3 p.m.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you all have a relaxing weekend. Until then, I'm Michaela Minoza.
And I'm Cynthia Morales. Happy Valentine's Day!